Player 2 has entered the podcast.
Fellas, I'm ready to do my thing. I'm ready to get into it. I'm moving, grooving like a podcast machine.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. Can I count it from the top?
Count it.
Can I count it from the top?
Count it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back, people, to Player 2 has entered the podcast. I am your co-host, Michael, a.k.a. MC Paperstacks, and with me, as always, is my co-host with the co-most,
Derrick Murkison, a.k.a. Full Metal Merc. And we are back again this week for another exciting episode.
To get up.
To us into the podcast.
That's right. To get up, get on up. Stay on the scene. Like a gaming machine.
No.
But not PS5. Yeah. They ain't on the scene. They ain't going to be on the scene until 2022. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But other than that, how you doing? How you doing today, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. It was real fucked up. I was kind of ripping and running today, and then I started watching the anime episode, and I started falling asleep. Yeah, no, not because it's bad or anything. It's actually quite good. But
Good.
I was really tired, man. It was just like last week when we were recording, I just kept fucking sneezing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I had to edit a lot of that out.
Editing was a minefield. There were times where we were having a conversation, and I don't even know how you pulled this one off. You're like a Tibetan monk. You have 2 different vocal cords. You were breathing pretty heavily sometimes, and I was like, this poor guy is suffering, I can tell. But sometimes you were breathing heavily while you were talking, and I'm like, how is that possible?
Well, you know.
Well, I hope you're feeling better this week. We had some feedback this week. Fan of the show, I don't want to put his full name on blast. We'll just call him Ron B. Ron B.
Not to be confused with John B.
Exactly. They don't know.
Right. They don't have no fucking clue.
Ron had mentioned that he really likes the show. He says he typically doesn't listen to podcasts, but he'll put us on and then he just keeps going. And I mean, I feel like if you're disinterested and then we hook you and you just keep going, that's okay. I'll take that. Thank you. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. If you ever want to hear about other good gaming podcasts, let me know, because there are other shows I've been listening to lately that I think are a lot like ours. There's the one that inspired this show, The Podquisition. That's with James Stephanie Sterling, Laura Kate Dale, and Conrad Zimmerman. And there is also Gamer Friends. I've been listening to Gamer Friends lately. So shout out to Gamer Friends for just being a great gaming podcast. Check them out if you're interested in listening to another video game podcast like ours.
But do it after you listen to ours.
Yeah. I mean, or do it before, but just make sure you listen to both.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So Ron was asking a few questions, and he wanted to know if we would do a Q&A segment, and I'm definitely open to it. At the end of our episodes, and I'm guilty of this too, a lot of people may go, oh, they're doing the outro, time to cut to the next episode or leave or shut it off or whatever. Listeners may not be aware that at the end of every episode and in the show notes, we do put ways to communicate with us, and we solicit that because we're open to reading your questions on the show, hearing feedback. You know, he mentioned he often wants to chime in or ask questions while he's listening to us, and I'm like, please. If you're listening and you want to ask questions or you want to chime in, you can email us at mcpaperstacks@gmail.com. We both give our Twitter handles at the end of the show, so you can... my DMs are open. I don't know. Are your DMs open? I think they are. Yeah, you're open.
Yeah, they're open.
Yeah, DMs are open, baby. Slide into them.
Slide.
You know? We got Facebook. You can comment there. That's how he got a hold of us. You can comment on our YouTube page. I'm pretty good about checking my Twitter and Facebook and the YouTube. I would say the hierarchy of what I check is Twitter, then YouTube, then Facebook, and then the email. But I check the email once a week. So you will definitely be heard because I always check the email right before I do the show.
Right.
He was asking, he's got a young son, a little bit older than our kids, that actually is old enough to hold his own playing co-op games. And he was thinking about It Takes Two. And you and I had saw that game. We haven't actually played it. You haven't played it yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. But I do know that It Takes Two is by the same developers of A Way Out, which is arguably one of the best co-op games ever made, just because of the dynamics and the interplay of the two parts. And it's getting really good reviews. It looks awesome. I have heard nothing but good things about it. So if you listeners, if you're out there and you're looking for a good co-op game, I think you could do a lot worse than It Takes Two, for sure.
Yeah,
and
besides the fact that there aren't a lot of co-op games on current or last-gen consoles anyway.
Yeah, I played one in particular, which I'm going to talk about this week, that is not It Takes Two, so stay tuned for that. But you're right, they're definitely a dying breed, especially ones that offer couch co-op in addition to online co-op. So we got that, and he also asked about Subnautica, because we were talking about that. He said he thinks it looks really good, and if we were planning on playing it, I am, but I think I'm going to have to push it back just because there's a lot crammed into the schedule. Like we talked about last week, June is just dummy thick with releases, and I got Ratchet and dummy thick. Oh, I got him all excited again.
God.
Listeners, I'm so sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna spritz you with, where's the water spritz?
Yams.
Down off the table, Derrick. Down off the table.
No.
But yeah, no, we got a lot going on. It's definitely something I want to get to and maybe even stream. Look forward to that. And yeah, that's all I want to get off my chest as far as the intro. How's your week been going? What you been getting into this week?
Week's been pretty good. I've been, how I do, thrifting all week. Not many breaks I've been taking, but I did pick up a couple of good things. This is a couple of standouts for y'all. Today, actually, I picked up 3D Dot Game Heroes on the PS3.
Cool.
And if you don't know how the PS3 has just been skyrocketing lately, like it's up there. That's one of the top 5 most crazy spikes. It used to be like a $25, $30 game. Now it's like 80 to 100. It's ridiculous. But I picked that up. And also another game that I've never seen before for the 3DS, Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson Double D Edition.
The Double D is what stood out to you, wasn't it?
Well, of course. And it was a big box. It was a big box 3DS game, first of all. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, ooh, Jesus, come to me.
It's got anime on it.
Yeah, I was like, I anime titties even more. Come to me more. Because I know that there's just a specific.
There's a market for anime titties on Nintendo consoles, sure.
Yeah, and that game is like I've played the Vita game just for a little bit because sometimes that stuff can get real obnoxious, but it's like just a hack and slash RPG sim type thing going on. But if you're into that sort of thing, it's on the eBay store. Speaking of the eBay store, guess what? I am running a 15% off sale on items up to $50 for a month. Okay, so it's going to end in June.
Okay.
And obviously, I've left some stuff off, but there's some 300 some items that are discounted right now. So if you want to check that out, go to ebay.com/str/gamer goodies and more. Check out those 15% off deals. I also send offers all the time. If you want to watch an item, I'll send you an offer. We go from there.
Not to speak for you, but if you would allow me to engage our listeners of my experience, Derrick, I don't know if he's going to give you the kind of discount that I have because we're best buds. But the reason why I got on with you in the first place is because I buy from a lot of used game retailers, and I've met with people on Facebook. I've gone to the same places you've gone to. You're super reasonable, and it's easy to work with you. Like if I need to talk you down, I feel like I can do it without you being unreasonable, or getting offended, and we can go back and forth until we come to an agreement. And the fact that you are so good at what you do, and you get a lot of games really cheap, you don't have to worry too much about a large overhead. So. A lot of people will have to charge skyrocketing prices for games because they paid close to it to begin with. But your margins are good, so you're able to work with people.
Margins are amazing.
They can be. No, they can be. I mean, it just depends. Like, you never want to make the assumption that you can't work with, certain retailers, and I would include you in that. I feel like, I'm not trying to put you on Front Street like he'll give you the best deal ever, but I would say if you see something you're like that's a little steep. It does not hurt to reach out and say, hey, would you do this? Now, obviously, we talked about some of the silly stories last week. He ain't going to sell you a Switch Lite for $1. Get out of here.
Not going to do it.
Who is? But at the same time, I feel like, you work well with your customers, and I wanted to point that out. So
yeah, I'm actually a couple of feedback away from 2,000 positive feedback on eBay.
That's a good milestone.
So, honestly, it should be more, but a lot of people don't leave feedback. It should be more like 5,000, but we're not going to go there.
Yeah. I went specifically through eBay to leave you some feedback, sir.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Because it's all love. I support you in what you do.
Thank you. Ooh.
All right. So what else you got going on this week?
Only other thing, my daughter has been obsessed with Fat Albert, the movie. And I had never seen it. And she's always like, Daddy, can we watch Falalfer? Falalfer?
Falalfer?
I want to watch Falalfer. And for the longest time, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? A
Falafel.
Right. And then her daycare is like, Fat Albert. She wants to watch Fat Albert. It's like, oh, Fat Albert. Okay. I don't really want to see it, but okay, fine. We'll rent it. I actually went to the exchange and I bought a copy, and this is shade on the exchange. I bought a copy for $5, brought it home. 10 minutes in, it skipped like 20 minutes of the movie. I was like, oh, hell no. So I'm going to get my money back for that exchange. Just kidding, I love y'all. I am going to get my money back, though. So I ended up renting it on Amazon Prime. And actually, it ended up being a fun time. It's really, as far as family movies go, there's no crazy they kind of sexualized the characters a little bit. But anyway, we don't talk about it.
It's Fat Albert, isn't it? Keenan is pretty hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's in there and he's singing and, his belly shaking. I'm like, ooh, baby. But,
damn it, Derrick. What will not make you horny is what I want to know.
When I find out, I'll tell you.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, it was a good time. Bill Cosby was in it, whatever.
Well, I mean, he is the creator, but...
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, man, it's too bad you had to do all that nasty shit, but, whatever.
I was devastated when I found out he was actually a personal hero of mine.
Oh, he was a personal hero of everybody.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Especially when he's going around telling other comedians... Now, we're going off into a tangent here real quick.
I know, all this flim flam flopping floozle, and they're all like,
talking about, hey man, you can't be up in the club cussing and
carrying on and
cussing and carrying on. There's kids out here in the streets, and you're cussing and you're putting pops and oh baby,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you back here roofing motherfuckers. So it's like, and also listeners. Stop putting celebrities on pedestals.
True.
Stop worshiping.
Stop saying you want The Rock to be the fucking president. You don't even know what his policies are.
Right. You just know that.
By the way, he's conservative, you dummies.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's conservative. I mean, most rich people are, to be honest. Because once they get there, it's like, I got mine. Nope. Fuck everybody else. That's usually how a rich person do.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's me this week.
Okay.
Fat Albert Falalfer.
Well, I did get a chance last Friday after I finished my stream. I noticed that Momo was on playing Resident Evil. I know I told you I wasn't sure about her schedule, so I popped in to check her out playing Resident Evil Village. That was fun. And Momo was running around getting chased by, the big lady. The big lady did not step on
big
her.
Big mommy milkers.
Or, Lady Dimtrescu.
Diministru.
Yeah.
Diministru.
No, she didn't step on Ethan to death, so 0 out of 10. I'm not going to buy that game.
Right. I was also watching playthrough of it.
Yeah.
This is my first time I'm watching someone play an entire game through. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it looks dope. I just don't want the stress. I'll take the secondhand stress I get from watching them play it. Cause
I'm eventually going to play it on Friday Night Frights. So if you want to hang out with me Friday nights at 10 while I play through it, you know what I mean? We can make a thing out of it. So I'll be out here, people in these streets streaming video games. So The Bad Batch dropped on Disney Plus. I never really watched the Clone Wars. A lot of people are like, you should probably watch that first, but I'm like, whatever, I'm not doing that. And I stopped and I watched. I started up The Bad Batch and I realized this is a no from me, dog.
No.
Well, I don't think it's bad. It's just very clearly a children's show. It's not, you know what I mean? Just because it has Star Wars in it doesn't mean it's directed at me. I'm a grown-ass man. And it's not like, oh, it's a cartoon, that's why it's a children's show. No, just the framing and the jokes and the personality. The general... I only watched the first episode, but I was like, this is very clearly a show for 10 to 12-year-olds. This is not for me. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that it is framed like that because people my age are the ones that were watching the Clone Wars back in the day. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it's seems to be aimed towards even younger children now. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's just my take. Maybe other people are into it. I'll tell you, if they continued the story of gargoyles but they kept it aimed at 8-year-olds, I'd probably still be into it just because I'm already immersed in the lore and I love the characters. And I fell in love with them during a formative time. I have no ties to the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? So I go into the Bad Batch just cold, like, what is it? It's like watching, one of those Lego cartoons, like Ninjago or something.
Right.
I could not care less. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's out there if anybody's interested. If you're a huge Star Wars mark, you probably already know. But if you don't, it did drop this week. So
yeah, and when it came out, everybody was like, when I read that, I thought it said the bad bitch.
You's a bad bitch.
Right. Maybe then you'd watch the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Well, they already have that.
The bad bitch.
That's Rosario Dawson and fucking The Mandalorian. That's a bad bitch.
Woo. That's a bad lady. She's a
I was
nice
gonna say no disrespect to the women out there. I mean bad bitch
nice
in the most supportive, most positive way.
Progressive way.
The most progressive way that there is. I'm talking about Trina, the baddest bitch.
Right. You a bad bitch. Respectfully.
Completely respectfully.
Right.
Now, cartoons that I do like as a grown man, I watched Love, Death, and Robots this week because season 2 dropped. I've only seen the first couple of episodes, but it's already on brand and wonderful. The first episode, they kind of show in the trailer, like the little autoplay when you scroll over the show. And it's just a bunch of old people living in a community completely being taken care of by robots, and shit goes predictably south, and then you get to see how that unfolds. It's a lot of fun.
Skynet shit.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very meta, I wouldn't say meta and like fourth wall breaking, but just very, that's how customer service probably would be at this point. Just a lot of jokes about things going wrong and contingencies, and I don't want to get too much into it and ruin it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And some of them are really short. The second episode felt really short. Like the story was, we're here, we're going to do this thing, we did the thing, the end. And it was just, you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of it, and I'll let you know if I find it to be better, worse, or about the same as the first season. And we talked about it before, I really, really enjoyed the first season.
Yeah, I still got to finish it, man.
Yeah, I've also been watching a lot of trashy thrillers on Netflix.
Okay.
There's this one with one of the chicks from Sex and the City. It was a really bad movie about how she had a housekeeper that had multiple personalities, I guess. Yikes. And she was writing a book, and it was dumb. And Shanola Hampton, is that her name? I can't remember. The woman from Shameless, the cute one. I don't know. She was in it. I think she executive produced it.
The black one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, please. Come on. Fine. Anyways. She was in it. And I don't want to ruin anything, but something happened to her that typically happens when you put a black person in a white thriller. Anyways, so I watched What Lies Underneath or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. It might be aliens, might be monsters. I don't know. It was dumb.
Something's under there.
Something under there. And things seen and heard, and it was about a haunted house. They're just all, I don't know, Netflix has been churning out like, I don't want to say Lifetime style thrillers, although the one with the chick from Sex and the City definitely was one. Right. But they've just been schlocky and cheesy, and I'm kind of into them. I'm watching them like, this is so dumb. What's going to happen next? It's like when you watch Acrimony or something, Tyler Perry's Acrimony. And you go in like, this is going to be so good. But in the worst way.
Right. And then it's not good.
But in the worst way.
Right. We've been watching a lot of that type of stuff too.
Oh yeah?
Just finding a random thriller. Like as long as it's got a white woman on the cover, it's good to go.
It's good to go.
There's a movie, The House at the End of the Lane or something with Jennifer Lawrence. Actually ended up being pretty good. A couple of plot twists in there, and I was like, oh shit.
I love those.
We love watching that trashy stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's so fun. You just sit there and make fun of the movie, but also secretly enjoy it.
I need to put you on to this movie called The Guest. I don't know if you saw Double Toasted reviewing it the other day, but you need to watch that shit.
The Guest. Who's in it?
Nobody that you know.
Nobody of note. Okay.
Yeah. Tangents. So speaking of tangents, let's get on to that video game tangent.
Yeah.
What you playing this week?
Man, I'm playing Final Fantasy X. And I'm still loving it. I defeated Lady Unileska. And did I defeat her last week?
No, you said you had approached her.
Oh, yeah, I was getting up to the point. Okay, so we defeated her, and now I'm basically at the point in the game where I can farm and get all the celestial weapons and all the aeons and, the fun part. Except, not super fun like it used to be, So I got Tidus, Orin. I've got 5 celestial weapons, and only one of them is upgraded fully. I've got all the Aeons. I defeated a Dark Aeon, Dark Valefor, or Valefor, however you pronounce it.
You did. Good job.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to give Yojimbo $200,000 a kill. So he could one-hit kill her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I kept running into... And it's weird because, we didn't have the Dark Aeons in the original.
We didn't have the
release.
international version, yeah.
Yeah. So, trying to go back to Besaid, and then all of a sudden...
Bam.
Because I'm just trying to get Valefor's second Overdrive. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, psych, you got to fight this before you can get that, stupid. It's like, no.
You can get that second Overdrive in the very beginning of the game.
You can?
Yeah, as soon as you leave the village, just go back in and you go talk to the shop lady and she tells you the dog has something in its mouth. And you go talk to the dog and bam, you get it. You can get it immediately before you even leave Besaid the first time.
Oh, damn it, man. Wish I knew that.
It's all good.
200,000 gil show.
But they got me too because I went back to Besaid because at the end of the game you can actually go into the Temple of the Faith itself and get chests, and usually there's good stuff like strength ups and things, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how they got me. And the thing I don't like about it, I think we even talked about this before, they don't just go, I'm going to fight you with the Dark Aeon, you better run away. They're just like, boom, you in it, you're going to die. I hope you saved recently. Stupid.
Yeah, you can run away from a couple of them, like the Maggot Sisters and Ixion.
Yeah, although if you run the wrong way, they're going to catch you and you're going to die.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I got Anima, Maggot Sisters, Yojimbo. When Vicky saw Anima's story and saw it was Seymour's mom, spoilers, she's like, oh, that is super sad.
That's so sad. What happened to your mom?
Like, no wonder he's fucking nuts. I was like,
right?
Yeah, that's a lot of trauma, baby.
What kind of logic is that, too? My son is alone. No one accepts him. I'm the only person that loves and cares for him. I'll kill myself and turn myself into a monster. That'll help him.
An actual monster. I'll bleed from my eyes.
I mean, if for people who are not familiar with the game, the analog is, imagine if you're like in apartheid South Africa and you have a kid in an interracial relationship and everybody there's super racist. I mean, I guess you could do the same thing here in like the 50s or 1800s or whatever. Anyways, and so the kid is not accepted by anyone, which is like, what's going to happen to the kids is what they usually say when I was coming up. And I'm like, it's a different world now, guys. Calm down. But anyways, and so the mom...
Say that shit to you.
Oh, are you kidding me? All the time.
Oh.
All the time, because my very first girlfriend was black. When I was 14, I had a girlfriend who was black, and my mom had a big issue with it. Anyways,
my first girlfriend was white.
Hey, get in there. Right. But yeah, I didn't get any high fives in my family, unfortunately. They all had problems. I heard everything. What's going to happen? What happens when your kid takes a test? What's he going to click for his race? Shut the fuck up with that bullshit. What's going to...
Whatever he feels like. How about that?
Yeah. Anyways, imagine that in the most racist time ever, you have that kid who has parents of different races, and the mom, in order to get the kid to have an easier time in life, turns herself into a fucking gun. Cool. That's what it's like.
Right. That's Final Fantasy X.
That's Final Fantasy X, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, that kid grows up to become a monster. Who knew?
Right.
All right. Well, speaking of monsters, I played X-Men Origins Wolverine Episode 3 for Brawlers this week. I think I'm done with that game. Next week, I'm probably going to play Final Fight Streetwise, so look forward to that.
Okay.
If I can get the PS2 working like I did before with the PS3, wish me luck. And, I mean, it's good. What can I say? I enjoyed it. It's just it kind of ran its course. That game is a lot longer than I remember it being.
Yeah, I do. I remember it being around 9 or 10 hours or something like that.
I put in a decent amount of time, and I haven't even gotten to the Sentinel yet. Like, I got to the factory where he was being assembled, but they keep shooting back to Africa. They're like, do you want to know what happened with you and your crew and Raven Darkhold? Not really.
No.
Not really, guys. I want to fight the Sentinel is what I want to do. But again, I don't blame Raven for that. I feel like that they were contractually obligated to shoehorn in... Well, actually, they were contractually obligated just to make a game about the movie. And thank goodness they knew the movie sucked. And they were like, let's throw a bunch of other stuff in there to help the guys out. You know, let's put a Sentinel in there and some other cool shit that he can do aside from the stupid movie crap. So thanks, Raven, for making it bearable.
Yay.
Little Nightmares is what I did. The Hideaway is the second DLC. Did that. Not much new to say except for my main antagonist was the janitor again. Had to kind of get past him. Also, the Hideaway was really focused on me getting around with the little gnomey guys. There's these little skittery gnomey guys that wear little sharp pointy hats like gnomes do. And they run away. If you hug them, they like you and they'll follow you around and help you. And I have to throw them at levers I can't reach. And the main thrust was getting all of them to throw coal into this giant furnace so I can take an elevator up. So I was going all around the level, avoiding getting caught by the janitor and recruiting gnomes to help me out. It's good times.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Returnal.
Returnal.
Yeah. We talked about how I got through the first 3 biomes and then got off the planet, and then we just looped right back and everything looked different. I'm at the crashed ship. I think what happened is it's a completely different point in time on the planet. Because I would call that now the 4th biome. Because it's so different from the original first biome. It's its own biome. And it has its own boss. The boss is associated with a badass licensed track that really fits the theme of the game. And I was so happy about it once I discovered that that's what it was. Really cool. I won't ruin what it is for those who get a chance to fight it. And Thursday, the 4th episode, I think I met it on the 3rd episode. But the 4th episode, I was able to defeat it. So my second try... I didn't get to beat it on my first try like the other 3 bosses, but I was able to take it down, and it was clutch. And I got to the 5th biome, which, again, it's like the 2nd biome, but completely different moment in time, so the landscape and everything is vastly different. I was talking to some people on Twitter. It sounds like there may be 6 biomes in total. So I don't know if that means if I go through and get the 3rd biome in the 2nd set and beat that, if I beat the game officially... or what that means. But even if I do, I'm starting to tell there's so much to this game that it'll probably be a while before I truly feel like I'm finished. Kind of like Hades. Because there's definitely a point where, the end song plays, you see credits, you know you beat the game, but then there's extra stuff afterwards. And I'm wondering it's going to be the same for Returnal. And the difficulty definitely kicked up. If you watch the first hour of my episode on Thursday, I am getting my ass handed to me. I really had to adjust my tactics and the enemies kick it up a notch. A lot of them have extra attacks. You know, what Girlfriend Reviews calls diarrhea Christmas lights. They're all over the place. But I'm still having a great time with it. And once I get a grip on a biome and I start to kind of get into my rhythm, nothing makes me feel more awesome than being able to overcome those challenges that are just rocking me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's great. It's got a really good kind of stop you, check you, oh, you're getting too good, we're going to check you. And then once you come up against that new barrier, once you get past it, you feel great. So perfect for me. I'm killing it. I feel great about it. Call it then. Call it then. To a little callback to one of our favorite podcast friends, Call It Like I Don't See It. Shout outs, GPAD. Hope you guys are doing okay. Okay, so you broke the news to me last week about Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, originally on the PS2, being re-released. After we stopped recording the show, we looked it up. It's $30. $30.
30 bones.
I already have it on PS2.
That ain't even a remaster.
No, that's the thing.
That's a port.
It's the barest of bones port. So I bought it anyways.
As you do.
As you do when you're a crazy fan. So I did buy it, and I've been playing a lot of it this week. So let me talk about my experience with Dark Alliance and whether or not you should get it. Okay. Some of you, like me, are probably such a huge fan, you just heard about it, and you're like, I don't need to hear anything else. Take my money. Right. Here's the weird thing. I went to the PlayStation 5 store on my PlayStation 5 to buy it, and I couldn't find it. It was just not there, right? I went online, on my phone's browser to the PlayStation Store, and I searched for it, and it didn't come up. I Googled it, and then went to like the shopping section of Google and then pressed the link, and then it took me to the PlayStation Store where it was listed and let me buy it. So if you, I know, I don't,
an issue.
I know. So if you're having trouble finding it, I didn't go like through my PlayStation 4 store on my PlayStation 4 console. Maybe it's there. I don't know. But the fact that I couldn't find it when I went into the store online or through my PS5, I actually had to Google it and click a link that showed up under shopping. Really weird. Anyways, I did eventually be able to find it. And no new textures. It's cleaned up a little bit. It's sharp, obviously. The resolution is good. And the frame rate is great. People were saying it's kind of a messy port. Like I was seeing some of the videos that people are putting out on PS5. You know, you can see if anybody's like doing the little, Twitch or whatever on PS5. Yeah. And people were talking shit about it. And I didn't really have the same experience. I didn't find it messy at all. There were no bugs that weren't there with the original version. And there weren't too many bugs with the original version to begin with. What was weird is I didn't want to have to beat the game, then beat the gauntlet to unlock Drizzt Do'Urden. So I put in the code just to unlock him right away, and that was disabled. So somehow they removed the cheats. But then I heard that they were moved back in with a recent patch, but by then I'd already unlocked him legitly, so it didn't matter.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
To me. I already paid you the money.
Yeah.
You got it. You got my money.
Let me do the stuff that was in the original game.
Cheat code. That's like buying Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and then not letting you put in cheat codes, which might be the case. I don't know, but still fucked up if it is.
Yeah, let me summon a tank. Damn it.
Right, exactly, and that's immediately what my mind goes to. I'm gonna spawn a tank, baby.
Yeah, I heard it didn't originally have trophies either, but it does now. But the trophies are very bare bones. There's only 4, and there's no platinum. It's just beat it on easy, beat it on normal, beat it on hard, beat it on extreme, beat gauntlet. Which I actually think that's like 5. But still, let's see. There was a issue if you left the tavern and went into the town, and there's nothing in the town in the original game. But if you did that, recall potions wouldn't work right. But they fixed that, so you can leave town if you want or leave the tavern. That's nice. What's weird, though, is, you have encumbrance, meaning if you pick up too much loot. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the style and mechanic. It's the style in all those games. I get it. Yeah. So you come back to sell your shit or whatever, and they have recall potions to do that. It takes you straight to the merchant at the tavern. The thing is, though, when you go back, whatever was on the ground that you couldn't pick up isn't there, but it is. You can't see it, but if you walk to where it was, you can usually still pick it up. So for some reason, items that were laying on the ground when you recall from the dungeon and then recall back don't visually show up, but they're still there. That's a weird bug that I don't remember being in the original. That's the only issue I ran into. Also, it seems a little harder, but again, maybe that's just my memory. I was playing on normal and kind of getting my ass kicked by myself, and then when I got the gauntlet mode to unlock Drizzt, you basically have to get through a gauntlet of really tough enemies as Drizzt, and you have to do it in 15 minutes. You can't dick around and let your health regenerate. Whoa. And it took me half a day to beat it, and usually I could beat it in my second or third try. I must have tried dozens of times. I was like, why can't I do this?
I need my boy.
And then once you unlock Drizzt, they give you a save file, but you can't play as him until you beat the game on Extreme. I'm like, damn, they really gated this kid off.
Right.
But again, he's great once you do actually unlock him. He's lots of fun. Can't complain. The launch was super quiet and baffling. You caught me by surprise last week, and I was looking online. A lot of other people were really caught by surprise too. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand it because it's a beloved game. I'm not the only fan of this game. And the fact that they charged so much, they didn't tell anybody. They kind of hid it so you can't even find it on the PlayStation 5 store. I don't understand it. But I did hear Interplay is working to get Dark Alliance 2 ported as well.
Okay.
My suggestion, if you can't wait and you don't have it on PS2, go ahead and get it, because I understand. If you do have it on PS2 and you have a way to play it on an old TV, or you have components or converters where you can play on your HD TV, it's going to be the same experience. So unless you just want to have the convenience of having a digital copy, I say don't buy it unless it gets cheaper. And for everybody else that kind of is curious about it, definitely wait, because it's only $10 cheaper than Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, which does not make any sense to me. This 20-year-old game is only worth $10 less than this brand new 2021 game. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like a fair price for this would be 20 or under. I don't know what it is with the $30 price. So
yeah, that's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
$29.99.
$29.99. but I bought it because I'm a chump.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Chain.
It is time now for the Pokemon Diamond Nuzlocke. We skipped it last week because I had to do a lot of grinding, but I finally was able to kind of get things moving, and I'm ready to let you know how things went. So,
All right.
I set out west from Pastoria to Sunny Shore, where the final gym was located. And on the route to Sunny Shore, I caught myself a Mr. Mime, Route 222. I named him Glenn. I don't know why. And I trained Jimmy up to level 50, Jimmy my Graveler, because the gym is an electricity gym.
Oh.
I fought the trainers in the gym. One of the trainers had a Mr. Mime, which is not an electric Pokemon. This game's original dex is severely lacking with electricity and fire Pokemon. Maybe that's why they had other types. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, maybe he's got electric dance moves. I don't know.
Anyway, Jimmy was having a bit of an off day. Electric dance. Jimmy was having a bit of an off day, and he missed with Stone Edge twice. And then Mr. Mime knew Energy Ball, which is a special attack grass move, which does 4 times damage. The fuck? It killed Jimmy in one shot. Jimmy's dead. Jimmy's gone. Jimmy and Bimmy both have been defeated. Don't do Gravelers in your Nuzlocks, folks. They'll just let you down. So I didn't even try to go find another viable Pokemon. I just carried on with Goku, my Infernape, because fuck it, man. I don't even care anymore. And I reached Faulkner, and he didn't stick with his gym type either. He had an Octillery, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I did the best I could. Close combat's really hardcore. It lowers my defense, but I figured if I could one-shot his Pokemon, I'd be okay. I did switch in Jubilee, my Luxray, to get advantage over the water-type Pokemon, and I two-shotted that. And he had his own Luxray, when Luxrays are tanks.
Yeah.
But I did hit it with a close combat, and he took it, and he answered back with Charge. But I was able to then follow up a Flamethrower that I taught Goku recently, and was able to finish it off. So his last Pokemon was an Ambipom, again, just a normal type Pokemon. Took it down with another close combat, and we're good to go. So I have my gym badge and 1 additional dead Pokemon. Side note, when I went back to the Pokemon Center to release my Graveler, it wouldn't let me. Has that ever happened to you? I'm not in the habit of releasing Pokemon, but he just wouldn't leave.
Never released a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Never.
He just wouldn't leave. I didn't know that was a mechanic. Like, he was so attached to me, he just kept coming back. So I named my last box Cemetery, and I threw him in there. I didn't know what else to do. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not using you anymore. You failed. You died, sir.
Yeah.
So after I got my last gym badge, I was able to head north and head for the Pokemon League. Route 223 is pretty much all water. And I caught a Pelipper and named him Big Mouth. And I made it to Victory Road amongst a sea of slain water Pokemon, thanks to Jubilee just crushing it the whole way. And when I got to Victory Road, the first Pokemon I encountered was a Machamp. I named him Chad. And then I went ahead, I did something I haven't done this whole run because I was tired of having these surprises. I went ahead and I looked ahead to see who the Elite Four were and what the champion was working with. And I deduced that I would need a level 60 Gastrodon, Abomasnow, and Infernape. So I grinded in Victory Road for the better part of 2 days until Gastrodon, which is my, Guella DeVille, Abomasnow, which I named him Snowbeard, and then Goku the Infernape. They were all at least level 60. And then I headed to the Challenge the Elite Four. As soon as I got there, though, Rival showed up. Beat him easily. I was level 60. He was like in the level late 40s. Yeah, he ate shit pretty quickly. And then I went to Elite Four. The first member is a bug trainer named Aaron. And, I mean, I have Flamethrower, and he's got bugs. Didn't really need much. However, he did have a Drapion. And even though Drapion isn't technically a bug type, I felt it was more on brand because it looks like a giant scorpion. Because it's poison dark type, really the only thing it's weak against was ground. So Gastrodon popped out, and I had Guella DeVille use an Earthquake, took it down in one shot. No problem.
Nice.
Second gym member is ground trainer, Bertha. So my Abomasnow Snowbeard, he used Grass Knot to take out most of the heavy hitters. There were a few rock Pokemon like Sudowoodo, So Infernape,
Sudowoodo.
yeah, close combat, took that out, no big deal. And then the next one was Flint. He, if you couldn't guess from his name, he uses fire Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But again, because there's only like 2 fire Pokemon in the entire dex, it's just Infernape and Rapidash. He also had a Steelix, a Lopunny, and a Drifblim, because whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Arcanine is not in those games?
I mean, you can get him in the post game, but not in the original dex, no. Not in Diamond and Pearl. Like, all of them have their initial decks, and they just didn't add a ton of fire Pokemon. And the ones they did add, some of them they gated off. Like, Magmar got an evolution called Magmortar, but you can't get it until after you beat the Elite Four. And then you get access to... Yeah, it's really weird. Because there's no Magmars in the wild in the original game. It's I don't know. So, what are you going to do? But yeah, so, I mean... All I had to do, Steelix, Lopunny, that's, close combat. Drifblim. My Infernape actually knows a ghost-type move that's physical, the Shadow Claw, so I was able to take him out.
Okay.
So, no problems. Lucien was the final member of the Elite Four, and his Psychic Pokemon gave me the most trouble of all 4 of the trainers. He had Girafarig, which had a normal pairing and made it impervious to my ghost attacks, which is really the only answer I had for Psychic Pokemon. Right. And then Mr. Mime immediately put up Reflect, so that reduced the efficacy of my physical attacks. I trained up Snowbeard to be more of a special attacker, so I had Snowbeard use Shadow Ball until the Reflect wore off. Infernape was risking it all with his fighting type to do more Shadow Claws, but I was able to kind of overcome. And then I finally reached the champion, Cynthia. She led with her Spirit Tomb, which was super tanky. He was so tanky, he was Russian. It was crazy.
It's a dummy tank.
It's just... he actually almost killed Goku. I had to switch him out, and I had to bring in Jubilee, who was not quite as leveled, but also tanky and knew Flash. So I had Jubilee use Flash because... Spirit Tomb used Embargo, which means you can't heal with items. So I had to wait until Embargo was over before I could heal Goku, which means Jubilee had to last. Flash did help me last long enough to where I could finish it off with Crunch. And then when she brought out her Melodic, which was already super tanky too and super strong, there wasn't much Jubilee could do. Jubilee had the type advantage, but the HP was so low, she went ahead and crushed her, unfortunately. So my Luxray was done. Rest in peace to probably the best tanky electric type I've ever played with. Your sacrifice will not be in vain, I swear. We're going to finish Cynthia off. We got Abomasnow using Grass Knot to finish off the Melodic, and then Ice Beam to wreck that Garchomp that she brought up. That's 4 times effective because of Ground and Dragon. Grass Knot for her Gastrodon, and finally Flamethrower annihilating Lucario and Roserade. With Jubilee's sacrifice, I was able to keep Goku in the game long enough to team up with Gastrodon and Abomasnow and take her down. And with that, I have done it. Sir, I have completed my first Nuzlocke without rage quitting.
Yeah, Nuzlocke ain't got shit on Michael Peterson.
Woo! So, I feel very ready for the HD re-release of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl later on this year. And I'm looking forward to see what they incorporate. I've never played Platinum, and I heard that they add extra story beats for Platinum, and I'm sure that'll be in the remakes. So there'll probably be a lot more that I don't recognize, but I got the mini games and the Pokemon and the setting and the story and the music all fresh in my mind, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it later on in the year. So there you go.
Cool. And a quick little plug, I do have a complete copy of Pokemon Platinum on my eBay store. So.
You do. It is complete in box. It looks beautiful.
It is complete. Yeah.
And guys, it's of all of the third game of these Pokemon games, the one that you buy that kind of combines the first two. You got Emerald, you got Crystal. I think Platinum's one of the better ones, just from what I've heard from fans and reviews and things like that. It sounds great. It sounds like it fixed a lot of the issues with the original Diamond and Pearl. And Diamond and Pearl is probably one of the slower games. Like, what took me so long with this Nuzlocke, and I put in like maybe 50 some odd hours into this game. And it's slow. The battles are slow. The grinding is slow. The leveling is slow. And they did speed a lot of that up. So,
okay. I hate that we never got a Pokemon Z.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it?
They just kind of stopped doing the third game after Platinum, I think.
Yeah, they just re-released the original 2 games, which is fine, too.
Well, like, we got White, then White 2, Black 2.
Yeah, and then we got Omega Red, or...
Omega Ruby.
Omega Ruby, thank you. And
Alpha Sapphire.
Afro Sapphire, and then we got Afro Sapphire. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and then with the most recent one, X and Y, they just did DLC, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with that. That's actually a lot better, I think, to do than to make you just buy a whole game all over again.
Buy a whole nother game. Yeah. But it was an institution, man. It was one of those things. But
yeah.
It's cheaper for everybody. So.
All right, well, that's it for what I've been playing this week. Let's get on to gaming news. What you got for gaming news this week, Derrick?
Man, we got 2 new PS5 controller colors coming out, and they are sexy, baby.
They are pretty sexy. I'll agree with you.
We got a red on black, which I thought would be my favorite, but the black on black, oh my God.
Yeah. It
is beautiful. And you ain't gotta tell me twice. I'm gonna go buy one of these mugs as soon as they come out. I ain't got a PS5. I'm gonna buy me a black on black, and I'm gonna use the white one as a backup because I think that white controller is ugly.
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
I don't like it.
You should unbox it and hold it while you watch your Resident Evil Village playthroughs, and then it's almost like you're playing.
And act like I'm getting the haptic feedback.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
shake it a bunch.
It's amazing.
I gotta tell you, those triggers are pretty cool because they obviously, with the bare bones Dark Alliance port, nothing's being done with the controller. So I definitely feel the difference between that and then when I'm playing Returnal, they do such a good job with the haptic feedback on the actual triggers for shooting and the alternate fire mode and everything. Wow, so cool.
Actually, I might have a hit on a PS5.
Yeah, you said something last week.
Well, this is from a different source. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking, hopefully it'll come through. And if this source comes through, then I'll have to hit up our friends over at Call Like I Don't See It and see if we can't get them some too.
I'm crossing my fingers for you, man. I really am, because multiple sources are saying that we may not see the shortage end until 2022. And I make this is an open offer for you and our friends in Houston, which is going to be a little tougher for them to do. You can come over anytime you want and play Miles Morales, whatever you're waiting to play, on the PS5, especially if you have to wait until next year, because that is bullshit. I will set aside the basement and my favorite gaming chair, hop in, play the game, enjoy yourself. You deserve it. This is bullshit, and it's the least I can do. I will make you pizza rolls, sir.
Oh, man, that sounds great. I'm gonna sign into my own shit so I can get my trophies.
That's right, right.
Yeah,
add your thing.
Feel like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Come on over. I'm serious. You know me. I'm open on the weekend. Swing by. I don't have to stream or anything on the weekend. Make it a thing. We'll hang out. I'll watch you play. It'll be lots of fun. If you feel like it's getting on in the year and you just ain't going to have enough time, or you feel like it's getting too far away from you and you're like, I have to play Miles Morales now, get your ass over here and play Miles Morales, man. Right. It's the least I can do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's not really like, it hasn't even been on my radar because I'm like, yeah, I have it, but I forget about it all the time.
Because there's other stuff going on.
The PS5.
Yeah.
So when I got the Ratchet and Clank, though, man, God damn, I need that.
That's where, like, if you had it, I wouldn't even ask you. I would just show up like, hey, man, come on. Let me play Ratchet and Clank, please.
Yeah.
Just let me do it. It's like raining outside.
Right.
Come on, baby. Just give me something to suck. I swear to God. I just want to play for 5 minutes.
Haptic feedback, daddy.
It's nice, man. People aren't lying when they say you can feel raindrops. Like when it rains in Returnal, I can feel it on the controller. It's really weird. It's cool. I gotta admit it. Yeah. All right. Well, what else we got going on today?
Okay, so
or this week.
Target apparently is going to stop selling Pokemon cards and other trading cards because these ignorant motherfuckers don't know how to act.
They shooting at Target.
They're shooting. They're swarming the vendors, following them back to their cars. Fights are breaking out. Oh, I need these Pokemon cards. I need this Champion's Path Pokemon set. I need all these sports trading cards because, now when COVID hit, man, just like with all the other hobbies, trading cards and video games, everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
And now, like, especially with grading is becoming more popular with video games and cards. So, like, a lot of YouTubers putting out, I got this graded and it's sold for this much. So now people are starting to try and get on that train.
Imagine busting a cap in somebody's ass over some Pokemon cards.
Oh, Pokemon cards. Like, aren't you an adult, man?
I can't even. Jesus Christ.
Now I wish I would have bought a bunch of them, because I had thought about it. But I wish I would have bought a bunch of those like Champions Path boxes that had Charizard on the front.
Man, I don't need to lose you, Derrick. Don't get shot out here in these streets for these Pokemon cards.
Oh, no. This is back before it got crazy. Before it got crazy.
It's risky out here. This is back before it hit the news and putting it on TikTok. They shoot.
Made you look. You're a slave to a page in my rhyme book. That makes me sound real old. That's some noise for y'all that are too young to know where that comes from. But yeah, Target's like, you know what? Y'all fucked it up for everybody. Because before they just were selling cards at Fridays at 8 a.m. It was first come, first serve.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, fuck it. Fuck it.
Now they shooting their breakfast, man. They gangbanging on bacon.
They say, we can't do it no more. We shutting this shit down. Should have never gave y'all money.
Buy some new cards. Not here, though, motherfucker.
Right. Fuck your cards.
Fuck your cards.
Yeah, exactly. Target is the Rick James of department stores.
Unity.
Fuck your cards. Yeah, man, it's wild, man. I just want to implore anybody listening,
please,
if you are super into Pokemon cards or sports cards or whatever, don't be endangering people's lives for this shit, okay? It's gonna be all right. You're gonna be fine, okay? Yeah. I don't know if you're collecting them or
don't die for your hobbies.
It's not worth it.
It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. If there was, well, I don't know. I was gonna say, if there was a bunch of sealed Super Nintendo games and I had to fight to get some, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, I would do it like West Side Story style. Like, I'll stab a motherfucker for a complete in-box Super Nintendo, but I won't shoot you.
Yeah,
you know, you gonna bleed a little, but you'll live. Yeah,
let's take this.
There are rules of engagement. You know, we can gangs in New York style that one. That'll be fine.
Yeah, so it's wild. They like fuck. You can still buy the cards online, but the fact that you cannot walk into a Target and buy trading cards is ridiculous now.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Mass Effect Legendary Edition dropped today on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
I have been watching videos on it, and Mass Effect 1 looks so much better.
I was going to say, it's probably the game that's going to get the biggest facelift, because of how old it is. So,
and it looks like it plays more like 2 and 3. Like they changed the mechanics of it. Because honestly, Mass Effect 1, as much as I love that game, it plays like shit.
Yeah. I've also heard from some purists, though, that some of the cosmetic changes, because of the brighter colors and sharper textures, kind of took away the 80s sci-fi vibe. You know how like it was kind of foggy and it had that CD kind of
grainy
groove.
Film.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just add a filter back over it or make that an option. But, you know, if you're a purist and you've been playing these games recently and you go to this, you might take issue with a thing here or there. But I haven't touched Mass Effect in years. Oh my God. Yeah. It's been a really long time.
Yeah, that dropped today. So if you never played Mass Effect, you got to go buy it. You got to buy it. You got to play through all 3 of these games. It was one of the first games that allows you to carry your save transfer?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a new concept
They
at
did
the
it
time.
the best at that time.
I was going to say it wasn't a new concept, but it definitely, the amount of choices you could make and the ripple effects of those choices going into the second game, I think where they shot themselves in the foot was making it a trilogy. Because by the time you got to the third game, there was so much different shit that they couldn't deliver on the promise that was built up to that point, which led to a lot of disappointment in the ending. I feel like if they just did 2 games and they had everything transfer over, they could have got more wild with the ending. But yeah, it was still cool, regardless of, you know, the expectations that were built up by the end of the third. Taken as a whole, the experience is not to be missed. So if you haven't actually played Mass Effect, you've been sleeping on it because it's a little bit too old, or you never had a 360 or whatever back in the day, I would say get it. If you're any kind of a fan of sci-fi or RPGs or BioWare, I gotta tell you, man, when I originally beat Mass Effect, I felt like I was watching Star Wars for the first time. Like, that's the level of hype. I was like, this shit is awesome. The way the story is really good. The threat that they present towards the end of Mass Effect 1 and that you carry on with in Mass Effect 2 and 3 is just grand, and it's overpowering and almost feels hopeless. but it just makes everything, the stakes are so high, it makes everything that much more tense. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let me get on with the rest of the news then. So there have been rumors circulating of a Nintendo Direct next month, which makes sense because E3's next month, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled for maybe news from Nintendo. If you haven't already, they a lot of times they'll announce stuff on their YouTube channel. We'll definitely talk about it when it comes around. I'm assuming another Smash character is going to get announced. There's also been rumors Nintendo's been talking a lot of shit how they're going to release a bunch of games this year still that haven't been announced. So now might be the good time to be like, 2D Metroid, Bayonetta 3, fucking...
Please give me Bayonetta 3.
New,
I will drop everything.
New Donkey Kong game. Get out of here, like
right.
Mario Party 2. Shut up. Fucking Mario Kart 9. We don't give a shit. So...
No, they're not dropping no Mario Kart. No,
I mean, I'm going a little nuts at this point.
I know you're bullshitting, but...
Yeah. Mario Odyssey 2. Super Mario Brothers 2. Baby.
Speaking of donkeys.
Knack 3 on Switch.
Did you see Donkey's More Money, More Problems rap video?
I did, and I loved it.
I was like, oh my God, that wasn't bad. That was actually pretty good.
No, it was fun. It reminded me a lot of the nerdcore that you would hear back in the day. I was like, oh shit, man, I needed him to do a collab with Mega Ran. That was good.
Right.
The best part is took his editing skills and put all the pictures and stuff with it, which made it great.
Right.
So I love the video that he put together with it. It was good stuff. We are fans of Video Game Donkey. He's great. Wouldn't be? I remember AD mentioned it casually, as if Donkey isn't like gigantic. But wouldn't it be great if we got him on the show?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to Donkey and like, hey man, come on the show. We love you.
It'd be a masterpiece.
A masterpiece. You, me, and Donkey masterpiece.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool.
Then I headed to the store to eat my gabagool. That's the Sopranos video. That was good.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with that. I don't know. Maybe someday, man. Maybe someday we'll be big enough for the big boys. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right. What else we got? Insomniac Games.
Uh-oh.
Makers of Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, you already like just me saying Insomniac. Spider-Man. Okay?
Ooh.
Insomniac. Okay? Sunset Overdrive. Now, you may recall last week I had mentioned there were rumors that Sunset Overdrive could come to PlayStation. In league with that, there was an interview recently with the director of the original Sunset Overdrive and Insomniac Games, who was saying that a sequel of Sunset Overdrive on PlayStation could definitely happen because they do in fact own the IP for that game. Microsoft does not.
Okay.
Now, for those who don't remember, back in the day, Insomniac was making all the exclusives for PlayStation. The fact that they made Sunset Overdrive exclusively for Xbox was kind of a big deal. And then Sony bought Insomniac back in 2019. So the fact that they're completely open and even eager to explore the IP further tells me that while we may not get the original Sunset Overdrive on PlayStation, it didn't sound like they were focusing more on that. Although if they did, it'd be cool. Who knows when the rights will age out on that. A sequel is entirely possible. Did I just hear you rubbing your hands together in anticipation?
Yeah. I was actually rubbing my chest in anticipation, but,
Oh, my God. So horny for Sunset Overdrive. So horny for this IP.
Sunset Titty Drive, baby.
Jesus
Let's go.
Christ. Oh, my God.
The show is slowly going down the drain every week.
Oh, man. Derrick, problems. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Mo Horny, I can't even say it. Mo Horny, Mo problems. So, speaking of creative characters, I actually, my creative character for Sunset Overdrive, you know who it was? Can you guess?
Barack Obama?
No, it was not Barack Obama. I did that for Mass Effect, and I am embarrassed about that. But no. For Sunset Overdrive, I made Janelle Monáe, and she fit perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
It had her little tuxedo, her little vest with a little bow tie, had her hairdo. The voice actor for the female character actually sounded a little bit like her. I was like, this really works. Cool. So if you ever want to cosplay as Janelle Monáe, smacking, mutants in the face with a crowbar and gliding around on wires like she's surfing, Sunset Overdrive, just saying.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance The new game, not Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance PS2 re-release. We got to make the distinction here. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance is actually going to be dropping on Games Pass at launch. So if you're planning on getting it and you got yourself an Xbox, pump them brakes. You do not have to shell out if you got that Games Pass.
You know, I found myself almost tempted to get a Series S because I went to Walmart and they had like 9 of them.
Wow.
Like in the store. And I had never seen any of the new gen consoles in the store. So this was surprising to me. And I was like, oh man, I could buy this. I could get Games Pass. And then I thought to myself, I don't even got time to play the shit I got. I'm going to buy a whole nother system to get some, then pay a monthly fee for some games I ain't going to play. So, you know.
That's fair.
Maybe I'll buy one and do a trade or something.
Yeah.
I need a new trade or something. But
Yeah.
I need this PS5 quick.
Trade for the PS5.
I've been waiting on PS5 so long, I almost got the inferior next gen Xbox.
Oh man, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Mom.
Zuko.
Yeah,
that's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. My girlfriend turned into the
first
moon.
Turned into the moon.
The moon.
Covered the
She
moon.
covered the sun with the moon.
She became a fish.
That's rough, buddy. Well, there are rumors that Apple is trying to make a game console like the Switch that would be like a hybrid console, and that they're partnering with, you know, my favorite developer who's never done anything wrong, Ubisoft, for exclusive games and guidance. So you got Apple, which I already don't like because of their proprietary bullshit, and they're the worst. And then they're paired with, you know, sexual predator, racist execs at Ubisoft. And they're going to make a console. So cool. Gonna stick with my Switch. Fuck you. But if you're interested, they're doing it. So there you go. They allegedly. There are rumors.
No.
No. Definitely predators. No, fuck that. Racist predators. They cover for them. They shuffle them around like the Catholic Church. They give them money. Fuck Ubisoft. Have I not said that enough? However,
now I think.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You said racist predators, and I'm just thinking of like the actual movie Predator, the skinhead Predator.
Right. Just
they got locks and shit. He's just like, nope.
Just singling Danny Glover out. Leave him alone.
Aryan Brotherhood.
Yeah. Just like I'm not gonna hunt the wit man. I'm not gonna hunt him. So yeah, the rumor is that Apple's making the console. So who knows? Well, more to come on that potentially. Who knows? All right. For fans of the SNES classic Zombies Ate My Neighbors, both Zombies Ate My Neighbors and its sequel Ghoul Patrol got a re-release trailer this week. And unlike Dark Alliance from PS2, it actually has all new features and support and online. It's going to be $14.99 for both games in a bundle on all the systems, your Switch, your PS, your Xbox, maybe even the PC. I have to go back and check my notes on that one. They have not actually announced a release date for these games yet, but they're coming. So, fans of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, I know there's a lot of you out there. Get excited. Your time has come, basically.
Yes.
If you haven't already emulated it and put it on a million things, because I know I have, but whatever, you know.
Official support.
Yeah. So we talked about recently that Nike and PS5 making them shoes this month. Well, not to be outdone, Xbox has partnered with Adidas to make their own kicks.
They said, we're the inferior brand, and we shall pair with the inferior brand.
Ooh, it's debate.
It's debatable. I'm just fucking.
I was gonna say
I like Adidas. Yeah,
that's not even a Coke Pepsi comparison because Coke is obviously superior. But with Adidas and Nike, they're close enough to where I could say it's a preference. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've always kind of personally favored Adidas, but maybe it's just because of the affiliation with Run DMC. I don't know. Yeah. Adidas always felt more New York. Nike was more LA. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, West Coast, East Coast beef?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
I love beef.
Anyways, they have not. There's no like specifics on when you can see these come through, like with the PS5 and the Nike shoes, but it's coming. So keep your eyes out, shoe heads, fans of Microsoft and fans of Adidas. If you're in that Venn diagram, your day has come. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the day that has come, it is finally upon us. Castlevania Season 4 has dropped on Netflix, and it's glorious.
It is pretty good.
Oh my god. I love the show. Speaking of Derrick, I'm horny for Castlevania. Feel these nipples, guys. Seriously.
Yeah. And so, I've only gotten up to episode 2. I rember you telling me you got up to episode 5.
I know, and I was the one that was like, I'm going to take it easy. We'll watch like one episode a week. The episodes just go by so fast, and they're so good.
Yeah, they just kind of end. You're like, and now I'm starting to kind of I can figure when it's going to end.
Yeah, you can
it
tell.
usually ends on a close-up of someone's face.
Yeah, music starts to kick in. You're like, it's about to end, and then you see the credits, and you're like, shit, I got to keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about. I can only talk about the first 2 episodes, obviously.
Yeah, I don't want to get into spoilers. Maybe since this is the end of the arc, we can eventually do a spoiler cast on Castlevania the show. I would really like to do something like that. So I don't want to get into specifics, but I will say that you're introducing additional characters. They're fleshing out the characters that we left off with in season 3. And there were threads of plot in season 3 about a certain character that left in season 2 that's coming back. You start to see the players in like who's pulling the strings, the different motivations for why different characters want that to happen or don't want that to happen. The story, the writing, the animation, the fight scenes. God, dude, the fight scenes are fucking just mwah!
Can I just say that Sypha is ridiculous.
She's really coming into her own.
She's nasty.
She's OP. Like, Sypha is MVP for sure. Like, I thought Alucard and Trevor were badass, but she's getting creative with her fucking magic, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
One thing I will say about the show is... If you've seen up to season 2, spoilers for season 2, okay? I was going to say spoilers for season 2.
Yeah.
They defeat Dracula.
Right.
The biggest bad in the land.
Yeah.
And in season 3, they have a really tough fight at the end of season 3 with a bunch of monsters. But then when you start season 4, I understand they're tired, but like they're fighting like very low class night creatures.
Yeah.
And they're having issues. And I'm just like, but y'all have already done all this other shit. You've proven that this should be like a walk in the park to you. They're like the end of game, you have all the upgrades, and then you go back to the beginning and you're still having issues. Like,
I didn't really get that impression. I got the impression that, that people are meddling in affairs, sacrifices are being done, dark magic is being used, stronger monsters are coming out of the woodwork to try to set pieces on the chessboard. That plus them constantly fighting with little to no rest, because they still look badass, and they look like they're kicking a lot of ass. It just seems like the monsters have stepped up their game as well. Yeah. Okay. And they're fighting a lot of them. And like you said, that there's a very clear reason why they're tired, and they kind of go over, that the first couple episodes. But yeah, I didn't get that impression too much myself. I definitely am with you in that I hate that trope. Like you think of the Matrix sequel when all of a sudden, Superman Jesus Neo is having trouble with the robots, and then he just goes, upgrades. Fuck off. Right. You can see the source code, dude. I don't want to hear no shit about no upgrades. Right. So, and Sypha and Trevor cannot see the source code, but they are really strong. And I don't know. I'm feeling the balance, but I get what you're saying. I feel like maybe they could communicate the strength of the monsters or the condition of our heroes a little better. But I was able to look past it pretty easily just in service of the action, which was really good.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on it?
Not so far. I'll probably finish it pretty quickly because I just love it so much. But like I said, if you finish it and you want to do a spoiler cast, I'm down.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Any friends of the show that are listening, if you are also watching the show and you want to do the spoiler cast with us, reach out to me, let me know. I would be happy to do a guest spoiler cast. It'd be a lot of fun. So we are down to clown and geek with fans of Castlevania, please believe. All right. Well, with that said, I just got to know one thing this week, Derrick. What you feeling?
I'm feeling a YouTube channel by the name of Retro Rick. Retro Rick is a video game collector who videos himself going to Goodwills, thrift stores, finding games. He'll flip them and add more money to his game fund. And he just has he comes across really interesting things. Like think episode a few weeks ago, he came across a Nintendo television. So it actually has a Nintendo built into it.
Cool.
And it had the original controllers and everything. And it's like $1,000.
Wow.
And it's just real cool stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm feeling Retro Rick. I watch his videos like every other day whenever he posts them just to see what he found and see if I can get my knowledge up. Because, that's how I get mine. So I gotta stay up on game.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if it was specifically Retro Rick, but I remember you mentioning YouTube channels that you follow before with other thrifters and how that really inspires and helps you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we also brought this up too, so I apologize if we're retreading old ground. You and Vicky had talked about potentially doing a YouTube channel as well, but you were like, I don't know, between posting everything, adding that onto the docket might be with it, but I feel like you'd be able to help a lot of people too. Like Retro Rick and these other shows that you watch, you've got a lot of tips and a lot of things to say that, and maybe documenting or filming your pickups wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't have time. I don't see how they do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, how do y'all do this there's one channel I watch, they upload every single day. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, y'all, it doesn't seem like y'all have time to rest.
Well, you're always growing and expanding, right? You started at this point, then eventually got your LLC, then eventually got your storage, then eventually you got your XYZ. Maybe eventually you get your own media person, and that's when things will really start to take off. You know what I mean? So who knows? We'll see. All right. As far as what I'm feeling this week, I feel like I must be feeling the character, the D&D character, Dungeons & Dragons, Drizzt Do'Urden. And I say this because in this year alone, I have purchased a game with Drizzt Do'Urden that was Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I have gotten Funko Pops of both Drizzt Do'Urden and his cat Guinevere. It's a magical cat figurine that he holds. It summons a Black Panther. It's really awesome.
Awesome.
I got 1-to-1 size replica swords of the two swords he uses, Twinkle and Icing Death. I never buy shit like that. But I saw them on sale and I was like, I must have these swords. And I already have the physical copies of the books, except for the first one. There's a Dark Elf trilogy that talks about his origins. The first book is called Homeland. I loaned it to a friend who just refused to give it back to me, which sucks.
Right. That's what happens.
But I bought the audio book version of that. I've been listening to that as well because it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's just really good, really deep and poignant and reflective and awesome. So, yeah, I'm feeling Drizzt Do'Urden, man. He's a dark elf in the Dungeons & Dragons kind of universe. Been in a lot of Baldur's Gate games, in a lot of stuff written by R.A. Salvatore, which is one of the famous authors for D&D books. I would highly recommend anybody out there that likes to read to check out the Dark Elf trilogy. Like I said, I think it's one of the best books. It talks a lot about being different because he's born into the race of a subterranean race of dark elves, and they worship the Spider Queen Lolth, who is all about betrayal and murder and death and just getting yours. And he questions all that, and they just ostracize him for it. But because of the way that they look and their reputation, when he goes to the surface world, everybody treats him really terrible. There's a lot of parallels to racism, a lot of parallels to otherism, a lot of parallels to classism, and all kinds of other stuff. It's a really interesting read. So I don't know if people will dig it or not, but I was into it when I was younger, and I just really like the character. I think he's neat. So that's what I'm feeling this week.
You've been feeling him a lot.
Yeah. All right.
Like
well,
before the past 4 weeks.
like I said, yeah, like I just been getting stuff. So, but yeah, before we get to the end of the show, we're gonna pay those dues. So we're gonna play an ad for you here in a second, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsors. All right, that is our show. Derrick, if the people out there are trying to find some gamer goodies, possibly more, if they want to get a hold of you, where can they locate you at?
They can check out the eBay store at ebay.com/str/gamergoodies and more. They can follow me on Instagram at gamergoodiesmore, and I'm also on Twitter at goodies_more.
And of course, we upload episodes every single Sunday. So if you're looking for the podcast, you can find us at our main hub at anchor.fm/player2 has entered the pod. We're also located wherever you prefer to listen to your podcast. That includes Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we have a Facebook and YouTube page. You can find us at facebook.com/player2 has entered the pod. You can also find us on the YouTube channel Player2 has entered the podcast. If you want to find me personally, I'm on Twitter at Mike Peterson AL, and I do Twitch streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Got the schedule up at twitch.tv/mcpaperstacks. I mainly do brawlers, beat 'em ups, horror games, and try to do something current. Right now that's Returnal, so come check me out for that. And if you want to check any past episodes, you can go to YouTube, check out the channel MC Paperstacks Plays. If you want to get a hold of us directly, aside from commenting on Facebook or YouTube, you can also email us directly at mcpaperstacks@gmail.com. And that is our show. I want to thank everybody for listening. We love you, we appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.